Good morning, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. Let's see what we have got in today's The Hindu newspaper. But before that, a positive quote. Adversity can break you or it can fuel you. It's totally our choice whether we choose to stay there down on the floor or whether we choose to stand up on our feet again and fight on. This is a statement from Robin Sharma. He's a very famous book writer. He's a very famous motivational speaker as well. With this, dear friends, today we have many important items on our table today. This one is about, you have one editorial. This one is CA, Facebook and you. This one is about this Facebook and data scam and things like that. Then one article is on protecting our data. These are the two articles that I have clubbed together. You can see the cartoon image as well, very easy to understand one. But today we have many articles, so I have kept the picture portion aside. And then you have this terms of separation. It is about this Lingayat community, and we will go through some important bits and pieces, some important details, very important for your MCQ, right? You find this type of questions asked in your prelims examination, so we'll go through that as well. Then we have electricity greed, how it works, and what are the things that we need to look after, or what are important items associated with electric production. And then you can ask yourself a big question, that is it possible for us to radically change the way we are producing our electricity, or from the source through which we are getting our energy, like from fossil fuel? Is it possible for us to over the night change it to a renewable source, whether it is possible or not, and what are important things associated with it? We'll go through this. And then you have this curbing misuse. It's about this Anti-Atrocities Act and SCST Protection Act. A couple of days ago we talked about this thing. It was in news because the Supreme Court took a stand on this thing. So let's go through it. And this one is the economy back on track. Now, we have talked about economy many a times. I have provided you detailed analysis of how things works, what are the things that you have to keep in your mind and things like that. So I'll leave it on you guys. You can read this article if you want, but I want you guys to give me an answer in the comment section. Do let me know whether economy is on track or not. I'm not asking yes or no here. Remember, I am asking for some, you can say, data. I'm asking your answer, your descriptive answer. And if you are saying yes, then you should have some points that are supporting it. If you are saying no, then again you should have some important facts and figures and a bit of explanation. 250 word is more than enough, right? You don't have to write a big essay. And before moving ahead, I must say that I have gone through some of the answers, right? To be honest, I was not able to go through all of them because by the time I was checking your comments and answers, it was nearly evening. So today again, as soon as I finish my discussion with you guys, I'll go to the comment section of yesterday's video and I'm going to go through the answers. I have seen many beautiful answers and thank you very much, right? I really appreciate it because this will help other students as well. A couple of points were outstanding, right? Hats off to you guys for this sort of contribution. Keep on sharing good work. With this, dear friends, you can download this file, of course, from my Facebook page. StudyIQ provides pen drive and tablet courses for various different exams, and at present Navratri sales are going on, so make sure you make the most out of it. Now, the first editorial that we have is called CA, that is Cambridge Analytica, Facebook and you. Now, how it works, what they did, we will analyze it very briefly, right? I'm sure many of you are aware about this consumer behavior and how they play around with your mind and other things, because we have talked about it. I have studied this thing, I have practiced this thing. Means I'm not saying that I used to this Cambridge Analytica thing, no, but you know how you place some products at various places and then chances are that they will be observed by people, so there is nothing harm in it. But here what they are doing is they are stealing your data. They are not stealing actually, but what they are doing is they are using your data, they are collecting it from you, they are telling you something else. And it reminds us of you might have heard about, I'm not a racist person at all, right? I strongly believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, but you know, in Western world, some people in Western world, they believe that in countries like India, Pakistan or South Asian countries, if you go there, then you have to be extra safe, and people will cheat you. They will ask for extra money, for a product that is 10 rupees, they will ask you 100 rupees and things like that, because you are from foreign country. I'm just giving you, I'm sure you might have heard about it, and I'm not saying that this sort of things don't take place over here. Yes, they do take place in our country, and it is very sad, and I'm not saying that in other countries as well something similar is going on. What we can say is we can talk about our society and our country. Of course, we all need a safe and a fair market, and it happens with us as well, isn't it? If you are traveling to different states, then there are high chances that people, of course, they will find out that you are coming from different state, from your language maybe, or from your body language maybe. So there are chances that they will cheat you and things like that. Anyways, now what is the connection between these two things? The thing is, when a poor merchant or a poor person or a normal common person is cheating you, then we consider it as a very bad thing. But when this sort of things are done by some huge companies like Facebook, or if Facebook is used to exploit and then make money out of it, of course you know that this person that you can see on your screen, his name is Alexander Kogan. He is not doing charity work. He has taken huge amount of money for supplying this data. And how he did it, he basically created a personality profiling application. So they came out with this application on Facebook, and people were asked to fill basically a questionnaire, take part in a survey basically, and they took part in survey. And then as soon as you take part in this survey, not only your data but your friends' data will be collected as well. And once they have this data, they took data of 50 million Facebook users, and then they analyzed it. They placed this data on their table. They have this behavioral micro targeting thing. They used this psychographic messaging. Now let me throw some light on this thing very briefly. Behavioral, our behavior, how we will behave. If I have some more bricks, then I can make a house out of it. Basically, if I know many things about you, if I know your birth date, if I know which school you have been to, if I know your family members, right, if I know the color of your room, bedroom maybe, color of different clothes that you wear, your favorite perfume, and many other things, right? Then you have all these people who will come up with theory, and they are nearly right. They can, with the help of this sort of things, you can judge. You can come to a close conclusion. Your judge would be more educated. You would be able to say, your judgment would be more educated. You would be able to say that this person will behave this way, etc. Right? So then you have this statistic methods and softwares and other things in which they feed this data, and once they know your behavior, how you behave and other things, then based on that thing, you will be displayed all those advertisements. So this thing, now you would be thinking, what is the difference in this thing? The thing is, even when you are not ready to buy a product, you are blank, right? You don't need anything, you are satisfied, or at present you are not urged, or there is no urge in you to buy a product or service. You are sitting there, you suddenly see an advertisement of chocolate, and then you will think, let's have a chocolate. Now you had a chocolate, right? This market or this advertisement, basically it created a demand in you to buy this chocolate, and eventually this company got they managed to sell one of its chocolates. So imagine, just like you, there are crores and crores of people buying it. Now when you go on your Facebook or Twitter and then you click a pic, say that you are eating XYZ chocolate, etc., and then they will again collect the data, like this sort of advertisement work, and this will, what I mean. So they, in this way, they push you to buy their products or services. Now the most dangerous thing about this thing is that they can sway elections as well. Now if you have a very good candidate, a person who is very genuine, very good candidate is there, and then you have one person who is a bit okay, but that person is having access to, or he is using this people's facilities or services, he's paying to them, and these people will change, or they will create this whole, you can say, mythical, or based on your behavior and other things, they will create, or they will push all those advertisements. Every time you are somewhere, you will find an advertisement or something that is related with this person. So gradually you will start liking that person, and eventually this person will be out of question, you know. So this is how they play around, and because of this sort of things, it impacts our democracy. And this big discussion, the reason why I have done it is only because it directly impacts our election as well. It directly impacts a quality of democracy in any country. We know that at present technologies are expanding every day. We get something new and new in the market, but that does not mean that we should allow them to exploit our democracy. This is something that should be checked in. The other thing is, at present we have to ensure that these companies that are collecting data from us and then they are using it, means every political party will be more than happy to pay them if they can create this sort of magical, you can say magical spell on different people by using this marketing strategies and things like that. It is basically cheating. The reason why I'm saying cheating, I'm being this blunt, is because I am collecting your data. That basically means I visit your home, right? I'm not your friend. I just visit your home and I'm just saying, hello, how are you? You're fine. And then I say, can I quickly have just for a second, can I have a look at your bedroom? And before you take a decision, right, whether you agree or not, I'm swiftly heading towards your bedroom door. I'm opening the door. I'm taking a couple of pictures and then I'm saying goodbye, tata, bye. Will you be happy about this experience? Not at all, isn't it? Something similar is going on, but this is something new. We are not used to with it, so we don't take it that seriously. And because of this lack of awareness, people are being target of this big data collecting countries and things like that. So, and personal data at present, it is considered as a black oil. We have talked about it, you know, many a times, that why it is black oil, why it is new oil. And now you can compare, and there are many other examples as well. You guys are using internet, you know it exactly what I mean, right? Today when you are surfing different websites, do see if some products are being offered to you, like you know, if you visit a website, they will show you something and something that you have surfed. So, and more than that, they are now creating the psychological advertisements. If in future I'll get one example, today I am running out of time. I have a very good example. Hopefully in future we will talk about it. Today we have talked many things on this thing. So that's it. Now moving to another article, again same topic, protecting our data. Now Law Minister has basically warned Facebook. He has said that it's not going to be good for you if you try to interrupt with our electoral process, if you try to or attempt to influence our electoral process. Very good statement, sounds all right, no harm at all. And if I would be at Law Minister's position, I would say the same thing to them, isn't it? As a Law Minister, I am duty bound to ensure that things are not played with in my country, isn't it? But the thing is our data really safe in the hands of these people? The thing is, their servers are in different countries, right? Predominantly in USA. The other thing is, at present, if we see after the introduction of Geo, you know that this internet data usage of people of our country, particularly mobile users or smart users, have gone up. Many people are now purchasing smartphones. It is going up and up. This is a very basic thing, and this is something very common as well. But now we are generating more data. We are sending more information about ourselves, and there are many other companies and many other apps, they are collecting this data, and there is a big business out there. Even, I'm not sure whether you are aware about this thing, but even if you get a phone call, right, and a phone call from a company asking you, are you Mr. XYZ? When you say yes, I am Mr. XYZ, that's it. The first information they have got it. This phone number belongs to this person. This is the first information they can confirm. You have caller, true caller and other things, but this will give you confirmation yet this person is the name of this person is this one. How do you think your name and number are matched in this other apps that provide this information, like true colors and other things? It is because they have accessed to many people's phone book, right? So without your consent, from someone else, they have collected your data. So this is the thing. Anyways, moving on. Now law minister has said this thing, but the question is, do we have laws? Are we protected? The big answer is big no, because even today sensitive personal data is protected by this Information Technology Act of 2000. You know it very well. In last 5-10 years we have seen, means much water has flown over Ganges, isn't it? We have seen huge amount of changes. So this is something. Outdated laws are just like using blunt, means not using sharp enough weapons to fight this thing. And these companies, they are coming out with something new every other day, so we have to be one step ahead of them. Now you have this committee. In 2017 there was a committee set up by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and it is this, the name of this committee is Justice B and Shri Krishna Committee about data protection. So remember this name. Many times you have to use them to add more weight in your answer. Many times you find MCQs on this sort of things as well. So that's everything pertaining to this particular topic. Now moving on to another one, it is about curbing misuse. Very easy to understand one, because our pre-existing knowledge, we have talked about our democracy and other things, and I have to say this thing because I want you guys to remember and connect the things that we discuss here on regular basis, right? Every day we find something new, but if you take out some extra time and if you will sit down, then you will realize that there are so many things that we have discussed. And this is something that I personally strongly believe in, that we learn when we, if I'm talking with you on something, you are listening to this discussion on regular basis, that's a good thing, but your job is not over yet, right? You have to think about it, you have to analyze it. I don't know how you do it, right? It doesn't really matter as well how you do it or what you do after it. When I say what you do, I mean to say what you are doing with the things that we discuss here. Are you taking a pen and paper and noting down things, noting down in the sense like when I saying democracy, how this Facebook and other things are having negative impact on my democracy, how they are going to play around, or what are the things, what was the last advertisement I saw regarding this thing. So there are many things that you can think about. It will be very boring, it will be very tiring for first couple of days or maybe couple of weeks, depends how thirsty and hungry you are. But trust me, after a couple of weeks, if you are able to change this unfamiliar thing into a familiar thing, then no one can stop you. As far as analysis, good answer writing, good thought collection and things are concerned, you will definitely shine. This is a guarantee, as far as you are ready to walk that extra mile. I also saw a comment yesterday, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, I can't remember, but there was a comment asking that, is this analysis enough, is this video enough, or do I have to, or do we have to read something else? Of course you have to, right? Here what I give you a glass of juice, you can say, but I'm just showing you how sweet this juice is going to be, right? This is just a sample. Now you have a whole field of sugarcane and you have to go through all the sugar canes and you have to literally chew every one of them. So I cannot, right? I'm not trying to give you a sort of magical spell or a magic wand. I'm not a magic wand at all. I strongly believe in hard work, and only hard work will help you to succeed in whatever you want to do. So here we have this topic, and it is about democracy and it is about social justice as well. Now it is very sad that after 70 years as well, we are finding this thing on one side. We are about to step on this moon, right? We are very developed, and today we have tried and tested this BrahMos missile, new version of BrahMos missile with indigenous seeker and other things. It is in news today. This is one side. On the other side, we also find that people, they do require some sort of protection. From whom? From alien people? No, from the people living in our own society. If we go back in the history, then we find one thing. It is us versus, it is not USA, it is us versus British, right? It is us versus Brit administration. This was the whole game. But after independence, we find that it is more us versus us, isn't it? There are so many different groups now and so many different people. And when we open books of history and culture and other things, then we feel so we feel so, good, and we feel that, wow, I'm coming from a country that has always accepted everyone and every new thought and things like that. But in society we find it's altogether different thing. So what's going on in our country? This is a question that we have to ask for ourselves. And it's not just Narendra Modi who is doing this thing. He's not that powerful to do all these things, right? Many a times famous people around them, we find many mythical stories, and this is part of our human nature. It is not the Congress who is doing this thing. It is the people. It is the lack of understanding, education, right? Awareness. This is the only thing that can sort all these problems out, because we need this sort of laws, right? This judgment was out by a 2-judge bench of Supreme Court. They tried to keep a fine balance. They tried their level best to keep a fine balance. They have added some procedural safeguards. Now we have this SC/ST Anti or Prevention of Atrocities Act of 1989, and basically till now how it used to work is that if someone is abusing a person based on his caste, particularly if that person is coming from SC or ST category, then this ST/SC person, the victim, can file a complaint, and the person who has abused that person can be sent behind the bar, and it was non-bailable, and it was very strict. Now we also saw this thing, and this is something that is right as well. We need protection, no doubt, but at the same time there are some people who are misusing it, right? Even for a small fight that can be avoided, or a small verbal argument that by the couple of hours or maybe in couple of days you will forget everything about it. What people used to do is, many people, or I must say some people, a small group, normally this is the thing, right? It is always those 10% people. Whatever problems we find, it's mostly this 10% people. It's a rule as well, 90-10 or something, 80-20 or something. I forgot, I can't remember, but it's always this small group that is creating problems. So within this SC/ST category, there is a small chunk of people who are misusing this thing, and now this is something that is this is not acceptable, isn't it? Because it is again about justice in a society. You are provided with a law, everyone should respect it. Generally speaking, it is respected as well, but we find this sort of case. So this is the reason why I said that it was very tricky for the court to add some more procedural safeguards. Now what they have done is, for a private citizen, for a normal citizen, a superintendent of police will give a green signal. Only after the permission of SP you can arrest someone under this SC/ST Act of 1989, this Anti-Atrocity basically Act. And for a public servant, officials appointing authorities letter would be required. Only then a public servant could be arrested. So hopefully it should bring a sort of balance in our society. But now the question is, if we read between the lines, then we find that in a proper system, in an ideal system, right, judiciary, or if you file a case, then first of all you have this police people, right? They should conduct a thorough investigation, and only when they are satisfied that yes, something fishy is going on, there are high chances that this is done or something, their investigation, their reporting should be thorough. What we find is, many a times it is very sad that we don't find a thorough investigation and specialization in investigation, and this sort of things are still a bit lagging. They are, I'm not saying they're useless, right? But they are not pros as well. They are not the best we can take pride on, right? So this is the thing. Then it comes to the second stage, or the final stage, is your prosecution. You have lawyers. They have their own dirty games. Most of them they do play, and this adjournments and other things, the cases goes for ages, and finally there will be an settlement outside. The conviction rate is also low and other things. So we need a proper system. Even if you file a fake case, ideal system should be something like this. If you can file a fake case against me, right, I should be confident enough that if I haven't done anything, then nothing will happen to me. Yes, a bit of my energy and time will be wasted, but for the betterment of society, I can sacrifice my couple of days or something, isn't it? I won't be jailed, I won't be put behind the bars, I would be that confident. For that, I have to have a good system in my society. So this is the thing that is need of the hour. Moving on to electricity production. Now I'm going to use very basic language here. This article is a good one. It is talking about this complex nature of this electricity grid, and then you have this generator and grid parity and consumer and grid parity. Very simple language. You produce electricity, or you have a company, or a company produces electricity, right? So here they produce EP, that is electricity production company, EPC. Now of course they produce it for selling it, isn't it? So this is a product basically that they are, or service that they are producing. This will be purchased by this grid. Now grid is totally different thing. Grid has all this capacity to distribute electricity to a long distance, and if there is an up and down in the power supply and managing all these things, and of course we don't have to do PhD in this thing, right? A basic understanding is more than enough. So this one is producing it. It is sent to this grid people, and this grid this distributed to different parts of our country. Now for 24/7 supply, which is of course something that everyone would wish for, and this is how it should be as well. 24/7 uninterrupted supply. If something is going to go on like maintenance work or something, then people should be, at least people like me should be informed, because it disturbs my whole schedule. Many a times this sort of things happens. It doesn't look nice every time to give you excuse that electricity problem was there, but you're chopping down trees, and many times they do this sort of maintenance work, and because of that they have to, we can understand, they have to cut off this power for a couple of hours or something. But anyways, so 24/7 electricity is something that all of us would wish for, and for that you need to have this constant power coming on from this electricity producing companies. Now at present, solar and wind production, you know, this is renewable energy share. We need more and more because of climate change and other things. So priority is given to this solar and wind forces. Now what happens because of this thing is, there is no harm in producing electricity from solar and wind sources, but the thing is they are very fluctuating. If you have a couple of, you know, cloudy weather, then as well solar production will come down. So it's not a constant supply. We have still not reached a stage where we will get a minimum constant supply. Hopefully in future, yes, we would be able to do it in future. Research is going on this thing, but let's hope. Yes, wind as well, you know, it's very fluctuating. So when we are giving priority feed in, or when you are giving, means allowing this solar and renewable energy, basically they can supply the power first, and rest of the things will be supplied by this normal electric or fossil fuel based or coal based electric producing companies. So what happens is, these companies, they have big setup. They are using coal mostly, and it's not like a switch that you turn on and turn off and things will go up and go down. No, it's difficult. So for that, your whole machinery, right, will have to stop and start, and things like that. They have to slow down and other things. So it's just like you're driving a car, and every few meters you see someone trying to cross the road. You have to brake, accelerate. So your performance will be down. It will require more oil, more other things, right? So wear and tear will go up. So this is something that happens with these companies. The second thing is, they have this capacity to produce or supply 24/7 power, but because of this priority feed, their expenses are going up, and ultimately either we have to pay it by extra money or higher bills, or the government pays it, or eventually you can say it is the taxpayers' money. So is it, means what will be the future of this solar and wind? At present, what we can do is we can use it in isolated places, right? This renewable energy can be used here in, you know, unaccessible or place where a central electricity grid is not supplying power or is not able to supply power. Over there we can have this isolated solar and wind projects and you know, small plants over there. So this micro grid that can supply power to different villages and things like that can be done over there. And battery research is something that is going on. The more storage capacity we will have in future, the better it is going to be for all of us. The other solution is gas based power plants, but for that we need constant supply of gas. Maybe a pipeline from Iran and other gas producing country, maybe this Tapi pipeline, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline can help. And we have to add more and more nuclear supply as well. With hydro, again, it is fluctuating during summertime. It may go down in different parts of our country, but nuclear can provide us, it's a green, it can provide us constant energy. The only downside is it is very expensive and it takes bit ages for us to build them. But this is our energy basket here. The big question, that can we switch over the night? No, it's not possible. If we want to bring down prices, then we have to keep a fine balance, and gradually things will happen, only gradually, right? Gradually, as technologies will boost up, we will add more power, we'll have more power from solar and wind, fluctuation will come down, and then we can slowly cut down this coal production and things like that. So that's everything regarding it. Now comes the terms of separation. This is about this Lingayat religion or Lingayat community. Now the things that you can see on your screen, it is more for your MCQ. You find this type of questions in your prelims. So Vachana is a verse, and you had a person called Basava. Basava was in 12th century. He gave this radical. Radical is not aggressive. Radical means something that is new, very new, altogether new, is many times referred as radical. So here he gave this radical theology of Lingayat Dharma, and he talked about, or these verses of Basava says that there is no boundary, right? There is no one outsider in Lingayat religion, right? One has to give up all this disgust and hatred towards other person. Everyone is welcomed in this Lingayat Dharma. And then you have this Shuddhi, concept of Shuddhi. It basically means not speaking lie, and not killing someone, not doing this theft and other things, right? So these are the things, and trying to eliminate all this negativity from inside. So this is Shuddhi. Most of the terms are very familiar, but then again, pay attention to this thing. You could be asked a MCQ on this item. It is a very important topic. The reason is it is associated with M.M. Kalburgi or Kulburgi. I cannot forget his proper name. Kalburgi. Kalburgi is the right pronunciation. Kalburgi. M.M. Kalburgi. He was a scholar, and he was murdered back in 2015. And then you had last year, 2017, we saw death of Gauri Lankesh as well, isn't it? So based on this thing, because these topics were in your newspaper, you can be asked a question on this thing. So Vachana and this Suddhi and other things should be clear to you. Now all these vachans, right? These vachans or these verses are written in Kannada and not in Sanskrit, as far as this Lingayat community is concerned or religion is concerned. And here you find people from all different castes, right? They became part of this Lingayat community. They come from different caste background. Early on they used to have this caste background, but now as they became part of this Lingayat, their caste was gone. Work is considered, means different work is considered, all different types of work is equal in this theology of Lingayat. And then you don't have to worship in temple. In fact, it rejects temple worship and forbids animal sacrifice, and people have to follow strict vegetarianism. So these are the things that are important. Now why it is in news? Because I remember a couple of days ago, Karnataka's cabinet took a decision. They have decided to declare Lingayat as not as a community but as a different religion, not as a part of Hinduism. So this is a big thing, and we have to observe. I'm sure we will find more articles on this thing. Now this M.M. Kalburgi, he used to say that it is a different thing from Hinduism. It is not part of Hinduism. Then you have other scholars, they are arguing that it is part of Hinduism because its concepts like shunya, that is zero, or nothingness, and the other things are coming from Upanishad and other items. Now one thing that I would like to add here is that this zero or nothingness topic and other things were given this title of Hinduism bit later on. So this is something that we have to keep in mind. But anyways, in 1881, when this state census was going on, this Mysore census was going on, at that point of time, Lingayats were recorded as a caste within Hindu religion. During constitution framing, the constitution makers, they they asked this question because at that point of time as well, this community raised a demand about separate religion identity, but this constitution makers, they said, or they asked this question to them, that if you are praising, if you are or if you are worshipping Lord Shiva, then how can you be not a Hindu? And then they had this, Karnataka government set up this Nag Mohan Das committee, and as per this Nag Mohan Das committee, this Lingayat community is not, it's not part of Hinduism, it is a different religion altogether. And based on this Nag Mohan Das committee, Karnataka government has taken, they have basically decided that they should be provided with this, they should be separated from this, or they should have their own identity. They should be given this identity of separate religion. Now within Lingayats as well, you have different, sadly you find as per theology, it is about everyone is equal, but you find two different branches as well, Lingayats versus Veerashaivas. And here you have Veerashaivas, they do praise, or they do worship Basava, but they revere Renukacharya more than Basava. So this is again for your MCQ, pay attention, and for understanding as well. And they also know, they also basically discriminate this Lingayats. They don't marry them that easily, and there are other civil matters as well in which we find this sort of discrimination. Now the point is, 13% of Karnataka's population is Lingayat, so 6.5 crore people. 47 MLAs at present are Lingayat. So now you can understand. Now I believe things would be clear to you now, this topic, why this topic is, or why this demand has been accepted. Maybe we don't know yet why they have, of course it is a decision of cabinet, and the cabinet is, or finally these people are elected by the people of Karnataka, so it's of course a choice, right? It's a choice, but still we have to ask this question to ourselves. The first thing is, say, a minority religion status, when it is bestowed on any community, then they are eligible for this financial gain that they will get for their mutts and for their education institutions. The other thing is, and the bigger question is this one, that if theology is saying that everyone is equal, no one is from outside, then why we are saying this sort of controversy, right? Then there is it's fine if we are being tagged as a particular under a particular religion, or Hinduism or any other religion, or even if we are even if we are independent, or we are saying it doesn't really matter if you follow what Basava has said. But again, it is for the people of our society, of our country. We have to decide whether what is acceptable to us and what are the things that are right. And as I told you, with this awareness of Facebook and other things, it is again education and our understanding. I think common sense prevails most of the time, and if we apply our common sense, then we can find solution of all these problems that we find in our society pertaining to religion. Now enough has been said today. Very quickly, Aadhaar has been defended by our UIDAI CEO. Very important points here on your screen. Then here you find that government has explained that this Maoists, nowadays they are using latest technology. They are trying to be one step ahead of us. We are also trying to catch up, but this sort of things do happen, unfortunately. Then our Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha again disrupted for 14th day. A global lawmaker meeting was going to take place in Delhi, but we have cancelled it because of a big visit that is going to take place between India and China. So we have cancelled this thing. Trump has ordered some curbs, so this sort of protectionism is not going to be helpful. European Union again is very strict when it comes to privacy protection, so this is going to be some more problems for other companies, more scrutinies maybe. And BrahMos has been tried and tested. It is at present its range is 450 kilometer. We are going to raise it and take it to 600 kilometer. We can do it only because we joined this MTCR, Missile Technological Control Regime Group. Before that, its range was 250 or something. So BrahMos, we have tried this indigenous seeker technology, very important, a technology that is not easily shared with other countries. And then you have your questions, and that's everything in today's discussion. I will see you all soon. Enjoy your studies. Jai Hind.